Hey, Astra here, and it was funny because I was opening up my video maker in my computer just to look at some information, um, and then I realized I still had it up, and maybe, does this mean I'm supposed to make a video? So I decided yes, and so I feel like I'm munching on almonds here. Sorry. Um, I'm guided to talk a little bit today about being sensitive and why that's a good thing and not a bad thing, whatever bad means. Um, because I was sensitive all my life, emotionally sensitive and also energetically sensitive, although I didn't know that and I didn't know what that meant. Um, so so it ended up, channeling itself as being emotionally sensitive. Because if I was overwhelmed energetically, it would come out as like stress or worry or, not knowing how to handle everything that was happening. And so that made it a little challenging, to go through life and my days at times. Because really what it was is that I was taking on a lot of energy and emotions from other people and subconsciously wanting to help them, because I didn't want anyone around me to feel bad or sad or angry or hurt or whatever. So I was like the sponge who would take everything on, and then I didn't know what to do with all that energy. And so I would get my feelings hurt fairly easily, depending on the situation. I cried a lot because that was a channel of being able to release the energy that I was holding on to. Um, and so, because I cried a lot, um, I was always accused of being overly sensitive, and that was a bad thing. It's like, whoa. But if I didn't cry, I wouldn't be letting go of stuff, and I'd probably be very ill with some very deadly disease. Because energy finds a way to come out, So um, I would cry. I would write a lot of poetry. Um, I would, write stories and channel everything through art. I would draw pictures. Um, so, all I can think is thank goodness, not only that I'm sensitive, but that I was channeling it out, even while being accused of being too sensitive, as if it was a terrible thing. So, anyway, fast forward years later, and I was thinking about because the subject of sensitivity came up recently, and especially in the context of like I feel I'm very um, physically sensitive to chemicals, like different chemicals that are in products or in the air, or not to the point where, I know some people like have asthma and things like that. I don't, but it's like to the point where like if something has chemicals that are harmful, and like if I breathe it in, I can feel congestion or constriction, I should say, like in my upper chest especially. And I know that that's like a warning sign, like there's bad, warning, danger, there's bad things in the air, that aren't good for me to breathe or my animals to breathe or children to breathe or anyone to breathe, and it's not good for trees and plants, and you know, so so other people can look at it and go, oh, why, oh, she's so sensitive and she's so sensitive, and have like a really judgmental attitude about it. But I realized, like, wow, like that's so powerful that I'm I'm so sensitive that I know when there is something harmful being exuded into the air, and that I can, then choose to remove myself or to not have it around. Um, like I'm my own awesome radar of what's healthy, you know, being or not healthy, being blown into the air. And I think that it's awesome. And so I thought, you know, um, and of course, I couldn't do energy work and intuitive work and shamanic work if I wasn't sensitive, because, you know, being sensitive is a part of being able to connect in with the energy and the subtle nuances and the information, um, that is a part of what I do. And so I thought, wow, like, how is being sensitive actually, um, a really awesome, helpful thing in my business and also in business in general. Um, so, and this is, I'm just exploring this today. So what's coming through is because the way that I've discovered how to have a successful business and also how to help my clients create, have, and run a successful business is by really connecting into the wisdom of your soul. And so when I say being sensitive is good for business, I don't mean sensitive like taking things personally or taking things on, or you know allowing other people's criticism or opinions to hurt your feelings. And if they do hurt your feelings, that's fine. Then take care of yourself and all of this. But when I say sensitive, I mean the strength of being sensitive. Sensitive in the same way like that an animal is sensitive. Like you know you know, you're grazing in the grass and suddenly you can feel a vibration in your feet from the earth, and you know that like a herd of buffalo is coming from like 3 miles away. Um, or how elephants can like remember each other after not seeing each other for years, and you know, um, or how birds know when the seasons are changing and they know that it's time to change direction or change location. This is the same thing for business. If we can, you know, capitalize on our sensitivity, um, and really connect in with our soul and know that our inner wisdom is our guide, then we always have the answers to any challenges or questions that come up, and we'll always know, is it time to launch a new program? Is it time to um, take one of my services away? Like maybe that the services time is over, and it's time to move on to a different aspect of the business. Is it time to narrow your focus? Is it time to is your business over? Is it time to completely change businesses and work with a whole new tribe of people? You know, and being tapped into like, you know, what being sensitive to when certain pieces of wisdom are kind of like knocking to come out so that you can share them with your community and empower them further. And so being sensitive is so powerful, um, when you're utilizing it in a way where you're highly connected to your intuition and connecting in with your soul and receiving your messages, and then also being able to read and deal with the energies that are flowing in from outside of you, and channel them in a way that's empowering for you. You know, and being able to kind of like be sensitive to other people's, like, where they're at in life, and like maybe, like, say someone reads your blog and then makes a comment like that shows you that they're, you know I don't know, critical of something. You could take it personally and be like, okay, the world is coming to an end, or or you could be sensitive to their situation, and of course delete their comment first of all, but also just kind of know, like, wow, they're probably in some sort of crappy place, or not feeling confident in themselves, so they feel a need to reach out and bash someone else because they feel bashed. And it's not to say that that's okay for them to do, but if you can look at it and understand, they're in a place, where they're not being sensitive. But if you are, you can say, well, it's them and not me. and let them go, delete their comment, wish them well, and move on, and not allow it to have any sort of devastating effect on your business, and even take it as a good sign because you're being seen, which which is helpful because that means that people who actually are ready to work with you or receive your wisdom are seeing you as well. Um, so there's so many ways in which sensitivity is part of empowerment and being in your power. And don't ever let anyone tell you that you're too sensitive or you have to grow a thick skin or stop being so sensitive because that's you know it's couldn't be further from the truth. So that's my message for today, and I wish you well, and I'd love to hear what you think.